friends, welcome to Finance Working Mama. My name is Heather and thanks for joining me. I am currently sitting outside of my Aldi store in High Point, North Carolina, and it is early Saturday morning. That's when I like to go shopping when it first opens and there's not many people in the store. However, Aldi's, they fill up pretty quick on a Saturday morning for sure. But I have a bit of a challenge. My friend Steffi, who is one of the ladies that encouraged me to start this channel, we were texting back and forth last night. We were talking about the week we had and the week we're going to have after the weekend, and she was just stressed. She is having a similar week that I'm going to have, and that is a lot of early morning meetings as well as a few late afternoon meetings, which will put us home later than usual. So we really need to have our meals cooked, and we can just pull them out, heat them up, and serve them to our families. But she said, Heather, I have $40 left to buy food if I stay within my budget that I put together. And she's like, I have to confess, I ran out and bought some convenience food, some fast food, because I didn't plan well and we were busy in February, and I really want to stay within my budget, and that leaves me $40. She said, I'm good for lunches, I'm good for breakfasts, it's just the dinner that I need to figure out. And she's like, and I need to figure out the fact that I got to get it all prepared on Saturday and Sunday because I won't have time during the week to do it. So that's one objective. The second objective, it has to meet our criteria of nutrition. So her kids are a tad older than mine, but most importantly, they eat very similar than mine. They like vegetables, they like fruit, they like lean meats. So I have to come up with at least 5 dinners for $40, and hopefully enough to give a leftovers for maybe a 6th night. So we'll see what I can come up with. I have an idea. And the reason why I'm choosing Aldi is because her neighborhood, there's an Aldi right outside her neighborhood, and that's where she's going to go to shop. So I'm going to try to emulate what she will see at her store and the groceries I'm going to purchase, and hopefully give her some ideas for going into her next week to accomplish not spending more than $40 for her family until the end of February. Now, we're at the end of February, so technically February ends in the middle of next week. So she could go to the store after that. But we all know, working people going to the store in the middle of the week, that only leads to one thing, and that would be buying convenience items. Stuff at the deli or stuff in the frozen department because, we just haven't planned and we're going to go for the easy button, right? So to prevent her from doing that, let me see if I can come up with something. I have some ideas. We'll see. We never know when you go to Aldi. Sometimes they have things, sometimes they don't. And she did say that she really needed some different ideas, that she's been sort of on that same recipe meal plan. And I think her family is getting a bit burnt out on her ideas. So maybe I can give her some new ones. So let's see what I can find and see if I can accomplish at least 5 to 6 meals, dinners, for $40. Let's go try. All right, friends, this is what I have picked up at Aldi today, and this will hopefully get me through definitely 5 dinners. I'm very counting on 6 as well, because when I'm making, we'll make a lot. And they're all things that my family, they do enjoy. Now, tacos, as you can see, is one of them. That's always a family favorite. And I'm going to pair that with rice, Mexican rice. And I'm also going to do fruit with it, and then the lettuce, tomato, and cheese. That will be one evening's dinner. That will also bring some leftovers for at least my family. We'll have leftovers of that. So that's some leftovers there. I'm also going to do goulash, and that's why I have the elbow macaroni and some additional tomato products. And it calls for an onion, and as you know, Aldi, you have to buy like a bag of onions, so that would bust the budget. So I decided to just go and get the minced onions instead. Now, I have onions in my crisper. Most cooks do. You buy a bag of them and you use them for a week or so or a month or so, depending on how quickly you have it. But to keep things sort of honest and knowing that not everyone is going to have certain ingredients in their cabinet, I did go ahead and do the minced onion. And I also did the chicken broth. I have plenty of broth base, but I'm also assuming that not all the ingredients that I have in my recipe, in my recipes, that everyone's going to have all the ingredients, but you'll have some. So I bought some broth to go with the Mexican rice because that has quite a few of spices in that I already have in my spice cabinet. I'm going to split a half a pound of the ground turkey and the half a pound of the beef with the taco mixture, and then the other halves I'm going to put in the goulash. And that's what I'm thinking. And so for vegetable sides, I am thinking for the goulash, I'm either going to do broccoli and steamed carrots, or I will do a side salad, which I'll probably do a side salad because I think that goes well with it. And some of these buns, I'm going to open them up and do garlic toast, because who doesn't love garlic toast with goulash? And then another night, I don't know if you guys have seen these in Aldi. I found this like a couple years ago, maybe a year and a half ago. And I thought it was just an Aldi special. But you get close to 2 pounds of pork that's already marinated for like $4.05. You can put that in a crock pot in the morning and it is ready for you when you get home at night. It is so delicious. First night, I'm going to put it over rice and then have it with some veggies, either the broccoli and the steamed carrots, or a salad, depending on like whatever anyone wants. That is one night. And then the next night, or another night, I'm going to do what's left over with the pork shoulder and put them on. We'll have sandwiches with some cheese and then some pasta salad with obviously the leftover macaroni, and as well as the carrots and the celery, probably some cucumber, and that is why I bought the Italian seasoning mix. I have the olive oil and the vinegar. I got plenty of vinegar to make the packet. Obviously, I like the packet more than the actual bottled dressing, which you can get it already prepared, which would be within the budget. But I just don't like all the stuff that's in it. So at least I can control what's in it by just adding my olive oil and vinegar. And of course, I've got fruit for the kids. They like to have it with every single meal. There's enough bananas and strawberries to get them through at least 6 evenings, and probably a little more. But that is what I'm thinking, and I am pretty positive. Obviously, the goulash is going to give me 2 nights worth of dinners. That pork shoulder, that will definitely get me 2 nights worth of dinner. The tacos will give me leftovers as well, at least for my family. Maybe not all the taco shells, but I actually don't ever eat the taco shells. I put it over a salad. I have like a taco salad. That's how I eat it. So we'll definitely have leftovers. So that will get us at least definitely 5 nights. I'm pretty positive 6. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But that's what I'm thinking. And we will see how it goes. And I will share the recipes. That American goulash is one. Obviously, tacos are easy. That's taco seasoning on the ground beef. But I will show you my Mexican rice recipe as well as my goulash recipe. Let's get cooking. So I am going to prepare everything I need for the following week on this day, which is Sunday. As I mentioned in the past, I like to do a lot of my pre-cooking on the weekend, and typically I split it up. Usually I'll do some on Saturday, some on Sunday, so I'm not spending all day or a half a day in the kitchen. And I always try to keep the preparation for the following week under an hour, and that is what happened on this day. Is it took me about 47 minutes to accomplish all the dishes I needed in preparation for next week. As you can see, I am starting the macaroni in a boiling pan of water. I did probably about 4 heaping cups of macaroni for the week to go into 2 separate recipes. And then over in the white container, as you see me working, I'm doing about a cup of rice with salt and oil with 2 cups of water. That is my rice cooker, which I love because you can just throw the contents in that cooker, hit the start button, and it goes without you having to babysit it until it pops when it tells me it's ready. And to start in the 2 pans over here, in the orange pan, I'm splitting the turkey up. I have a pound of turkey. It's lean turkey. I'm putting a half of a pound in one and a half a pound in the other. The orange pan is for the taco meat that we'll have one evening. And I'm doing a half a pound of ground 93 lean beef in one, and then the rest of the pound in the other pan. And that yellow pan will be the meat mixture for the American goulash. Y'all are probably wondering, why in the world are you using turkey and ground beef, especially when the ground beef is already lean? We are trying really hard in our family to reduce the cholesterol and fat in our diet. So we are more beef fans than turkey fans. And so to sort of mix in the turkey so that we can still enjoy the beef, that's why I chose to do the half and half. And the lean turkey is very lean, and the ground beef is about 93% lean. As you can see, I am putting in taco seasoning into that pan, and I'll probably put just a tad of water in that so that it will all blend and cook together. I didn't buy a pack in this particular recipe meal plan and grocery haul, mainly because I had a very large container of taco seasoning already in hand. So we typically only use half of a packet if we do buy the packet, because we like a little bit less of the spices. I know my children prefer that more so than we do, so I try to accommodate their taste. So as you can see, I am putting in just a tad bit of water into the goulash meat mixture, and I'm putting some heavy doses of the Worcestershire. I think that's how we say it. Is it Worcestershire? I'm doing that. You can put as much or as little as you want. It's up to taste. And I'm going to add actually 1 can of tomato sauce, which 15 or 16 ounces. Aldi did not have 1 can of 15-ounce sauce. So I'm using 2 8-ounce cans of tomato sauce. And then you want to also put in 1 can, 15 or 16 ounces of diced tomatoes into the goulash mixture. Okay, so let's talk about spices. So in this recipe that I'm doing right now, I am choosing to put 4 tablespoons of minced onion, dried minced onion, 1.5 teaspoons of garlic powder, a half a teaspoon of paprika. I already told you that I just doused this till I felt good Worcestershire sauce, but the recipe calls for 1.5 tablespoons. 1 teaspoon of pepper, half a teaspoon of salt, and then 1.5 tablespoons of Italian seasoning. Now friends, I will tell you, the original recipe does call for an onion, and which I placed with the minced onion, dried minced onion, and then a green pepper. I chose not to do that because 1, I was on a budget, and 2, truly, I don't know if my oldest daughter Ava would like the green pepper. Even though she likes green pepper, she likes them raw on the side, but maybe not in the dish. So I decided not to put 1 in there. Now, salt and pepper to taste throughout the meal, obviously. The recipe does tell you to put 2.5 cups of macaroni into the pan of meat mixture and tomato sauce with 2 cups of beef broth or chicken broth. As I told you before, I did the macaroni separately because I was doing macaroni salad anyway, so I did all the macaroni for 2 dishes in one pot. However, I will put the ingredients and recipe below. It looks like the macaroni is ready. So I'm going to strain this, get all the water off of it, and I'm going to put half of it into the goulash pan, and the other half of the macaroni, cooked macaroni, I'm going to put to the side and make pasta salad in a little bit later. I'm going to mix that macaroni really well into the beef and tomato mixture. I'm going to cover it and I'm going to put it on simmer very low and just let it simmer together so that way all the flavors can get into the macaroni. I will probably let it simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes as I am cooking the Mexican rice, which I will start in just a minute or two. But for now, I'm going to taste the taco seasoning beef to ensure that we have enough seasoning on it and to see how ready it is to maybe start to cool down. It looks like there's still a little bit of water in that pan, so I'm going to push it to the back burner. I'm going to turn the burner on very low, and I'm just going to let it simmer there as I am cooking the rice, the Mexican rice, and allowing the goulash mixture to continue to simmer as well. Okay, friends, now it's time to make some Mexican rice. I have worked really hard on trying to match the flavors and basically the recipe of my children's favorite Mexican restaurant's Mexican rice. And I finally found, after many tries, I finally found the right amount of spices that makes the rice that they enjoy. Now, I start off with about 2 tablespoons of olive oil, or really any oil that you enjoy using to cook with, and then 3/4 of a cup of rice. I like to use white rice, of course. I like to get the rice browned a little bit, so I'll let it saute and get it a little brown in the pan. And then I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Now this is where I messed up. As you can see, the pan is extremely hot. I typically start with browning the rice and then adding 2 cups of chicken broth. But I got ahead of myself. I was doing too many things at one time, which happens when you're trying to cook 3 meals at one time and managing a kitchen. So I had to slow down. As you can see, I was sort of picking out some of the burnt spots in there so that it wouldn't carry over to the flavor of the rice. And I recovered it. It was fine. The other problem that I did, which I would not suggest you doing, is putting the chicken broth that hot. I had hot chicken broth and put it into a very hot pan, which caused extremely hot steam, which almost burnt my hand. So I would encourage you, please, when you're doing this rice, brown the rice, turn the pan down to low, then add the warm chicken broth to the pan, then add the spices. So that way, 1, you don't burn the spices, and 2, the steam doesn't burn your hand. The things you do when you're doing multiple things at one time. However, even though I had a bit of an issue at the start of the Mexican rice, it turned out phenomenal. So let me carry on to the other items that you put into the Mexican rice. So I already said a couple tablespoons of olive oil or whatever oil you enjoy using, and then 3/4 cup of rice. You want to brown it a little bit. You want to put on 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Then you want to add about 1 teaspoon of onion powder, a pinch of oregano, a 1/2 teaspoon of cumin, and 1 tablespoon of chicken bouillon. I use bouillon base or chicken base.
And then I don't add any salt. And the reason why is because it depends on the bouillon that you're using. It might be saltier. So you want to just carry on to your recipe, and when it gets towards the end, taste it. If you need to add salt, go ahead and do it. But wait until you get all the ingredients incorporated before you add salt. And then you want to add 8 ounces of tomato sauce to the recipe, and you want to stir really well. Now, you want to make sure you get the rice and the mixtures of all the ingredients to a really good boil. Once you get it to a good boil, just like you see there, you want to cover it, and then you want to turn it down to low, and you want to let it cook for 15 minutes. This will cook the rice perfectly.
Okay, I'm going to start making the salad dressing that will go in the pasta salad, and then what's left of the dressing we can use throughout the week for our salads. I'm not sure if you guys have one of these containers or not. You can actually buy it right next to, if you're in like maybe the Kroger or Harris Teeter stores or the Publix stores, even Walmart I believe has it. They have these salad dressing containers for the packet, and the glass container will tell you exactly how much oil, how much vinegar, and how much water to put in the contents of that packet, and then you just sort of shake it up and get it all combined, and it is ready to go. And it has a nice little spout on it, so that way it seals really well, but most importantly it's easy to pour out. I am going to use probably 3/4 of this salad dressing to go on the pasta salad that we will eat throughout the week. But most importantly, it is going to be paired with the barbecue sandwiches, and then we can have some for lunches and sides throughout the week as well. All right, the rice is done, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in a container and allow it to cool down before I put it in the refrigerator. But I have this already made for the week coming up. I'm going to put it and pair it with the pork shoulder that I will cook in the slow cooker later on in the week. Let's get it started on the salad. Now, we are going to have salad during the week, and I bought an entire head of iceberg lettuce. However, I did find this romaine, the lone wolf, in the back of the refrigerator, and it really needs to be used up. So I'm going to wash it, cut it up, and use it, and then just hold the rest of the iceberg lettuce until probably later in the week or the next week. As long as I put it in a container and store it correctly, it should last another week. I am going to use some of the iceberg lettuce for the tacos, because let's just be honest, I feel like the perfect lettuce for a taco is iceberg lettuce. So I'm cutting up a little bit to have ready for the tacos the next day, which will be Monday. I have not shown this in the video, but I have also shredded cheese and put it in a separate container, which will be ready for when we do tacos on Monday. So let's get started on talking about the pasta salad. Now, look at that. The pasta is sticking together, of course. This is the other half, the remaining half of the pasta that I cooked. And I'm going to break it up a little bit because it's sort of sticky. However, that wonderful salad dressing I made will help break that up. Now, you will see that I have already chopped up some celery, cucumbers, and carrots. I use this dicer, which I have fallen in love with because, one, it makes it really super fast. I'm also going to add some diced sharp cheddar cheese, about 4 ounces. There was an 8-ounce chunk of cheese, and I'm going to only put 4 ounces small diced into the pasta salad. And as you can see, I'm going to probably put what it looks like that I've determined about 3/4 of the Italian dressing into the pasta salad. I'm going to mix it really well. Now, we don't like
massively heavy dressed pasta salad. Some people do. We like just enough. So I will stir it up, and taste test it to see if it's too dry and see if I need to add more. Now, as you can see, this is a very large container. At least I hope you can see it, but it really is a very large container. This has made an enormous amount of pasta salad, and I will put it into the container, and I will add just a touch more of dressing to it, just because, pasta salad is always best when you put the dressing on it and you just let it sit, especially in the refrigerator before serving, so that way all that dressing gets incorporated into the veggies and, most importantly, that macaroni. Okay, friends, we are wrapping up this cooking session that I have prepared a good number of items for the week ahead. As you can see, the Mexican rice turned out beautifully, and there is the taco meat on the side. I'm going to let this cool down before I put it in the containers, but look what we have here. This is what we have. We have the pasta salad ready to go in the fridge for the week to pair not only with dinners, but also maybe for some additional lunches. And then we have, of course, our rice that we're going to have with that pork shoulder that we have not yet cooked, but we will cook later in the week in the slow cooker. And we have the tomatoes for the tacos already sliced up, and the lettuce. I have salad prepared for the week. I will add the tomatoes later. It holds better if I add the tomatoes when I'm about to serve it. Look at that, friends. That American goulash looks absolutely delicious, and tons of it. It made such a large amount. We have the taco beef ready, and we have the Mexican rice completed. I want to wait until they cool down and package them up, and we are ready for the week. All right, friends, I'm about to walk out the door. It's just a little before 7:30 a.m. Midweek, and it just hit me before I walked out the door. I needed to put the pork shoulder in the crock pot so we can have it for dinner. Then I ran into the kitchen and I realized that I didn't put it in the refrigerator. It is still frozen in the freezer. But no worries, friends. Give me a thumbs up if you have put frozen meat into a crock pot and have cooked it. They tell you that you shouldn't. I'm not sure why. If you know the reason why, put in the comments below. Would love to know. Maybe I won't do it as often as I do it now. But today it's frozen and it's going in the bottom of this crock pot, and we're going to cook it. And this is a 2.5-ish, maybe below 2.4 pounds of pork shoulder. Got it at Aldi, already marinated. It was like $4 and something cents. It's going to give me 2 meals. I'm going to put it over rice and do some veggies one evening, and then I'm going to do barbecue sandwiches with pasta salad another evening, and it should give me some leftovers. So we'll see. I'm going to do it low and slow, 9 hours, solid frozen. Put a little bit of water at the bottom just in case so it doesn't burn. I'm not going to be here for 9 hours. No one's going to be here for 9 hours. So I'm going to do that on the air of caution. Just a little bit of water, put it on low, put it up for 9 hours. It should be ready a little bit before 5 o'clock, and I'm going to walk in probably about 5-ish, or a little over 5, and it should be ready for dinner tonight. Wow. Has it been a week? It has been so busy here in the Cross House. Spring has definitely started. What I mean by that is all the activities my kids are involved in. Lacrosse started. Of course, we still have dance, and we have choir, and then, of course, tennis and trampoline. It has made our week hectic, none the least. And what started to be a concern for my friend Steffi of like, what am I going to do? I want to stay within the budget. I have a really busy week. I'm stressed. And then coming up with this meal plan sort of on the fly, it not only helped her, but it really helped
our family. It turned out to be fantastic. As I showed you, I got a lot of everything that I needed prepared on Sunday, and I just had to like really pull out the food and heat it up and serve it. So it was the perfect menu, I would say. You know, we had tacos with Mexican rice, which is always a family favorite. Who doesn't like that? At least my kids love it. We love it. And we did have some leftovers for that, which is great. And then the American goulash. Oh my goodness. I have not made that in such a long time. And I was a little nervous that my picky eater, Ava, would not like it, but she did. She really enjoyed it. So that was great. Next time, maybe I'll throw a little bit more veggies in there to see if she'll eat that as well. You know, she loves vegetables by far. She'd rather eat them separately in a lot of cases versus mixed into things. You know, I know you might have a kid like that. I have one. It's okay. I love her. But, you know, and my friend Steffi was like, you know, I've never made goulash. She's like, I've heard of it, and my family loved it. That recipe made a ton. And if you remember, I told you that that recipe was sort of reduced, and it made that much. It not only covered the 2 dinners that I needed it for, but we had plenty for lunch, and we had lots of leftovers. So that was like the dish that kept on dishing for the family. So that's definitely back in the plan for dinners in the future of a must-do ever. And then, of course, that pork shoulder that I got so inexpensively at Aldi, the barbecue. You know, as you saw, you just dump it in the crock pot, even frozen, and it was ready to go that evening. We had that over rice one evening with, I gave them a choice whether they wanted salad or they wanted broccoli. And then the next time we had it, I did barbecue sandwiches with pasta salad. And let me talk about the pasta salad. Y'all saw that container. That was a huge container of pasta salad. And my husband devoured it. Like, I think he ate it every single day. I know he added like turkey pepperoni to it and maybe some salami another day. But on the Thursday that I decided to like make the barbecue sandwiches, I looked at the pasta salad and was like, where did all the pasta salad go? And he had been eating it. So apparently I knew my husband liked pasta salad, but he must really enjoy it. And he did. He's just like, I love it. So I definitely have to probably make that more often. Definitely for him. But we had enough to carry us through what I made it for, which is the barbecue sandwiches. And we did a little mustard and added some pickles. And some of them had cheese on there. Some of them didn't. I bought enough cheese for that particular recipe with barbecue sandwiches. I also put cheese in the pasta salad, and then we had cheese for the goulash. So indeed, a great menu. And you know what? Only $40. That was like 7 meals. And you know, it wasn't like the same thing every day. And it was something that everyone really enjoyed. Like every item I made, they really enjoyed it. Sort of changed it up a bit. You know, had the barbecue pork on top of rice, had barbecue pork on the sandwiches, had the goulash separated. So it gave enough balance during the week of different food items. You know, it wasn't like back to back the same thing. So it gave them some variety. So not only did it make my family happy, but it also made my friend Steffi's family happy. And she kept within her goal. She had $40 left. She needed meals for at least 5 days. They needed to be quick. They needed to be fast. And it accomplished it. She said that, you know, they ate on it for 6 days and she still has leftovers. So it's a win-win for 2 households. That is all I have for you guys. And thank you so much for joining me. I know you can join a lot of different channels on YouTube, and I do so appreciate you joining me today. And if you like what you saw, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, subscribe. You guys be safe and most importantly, stay encouraged.